Welcome to the Tech Blog Writer Podcast, your guide to future tech trends and innovation in a language you understand. Now, over to your host, Neil Hughes.
Welcome back to another episode of the Tech Blog Writer Podcast. Now, is it wrong for a fully grown man to be secretly excited about opening door number 1 on my chocolate advent calendar this Friday? And speaking of which, what is it about these premium advent calendars for adults that are now £50 to £200 and full of perfume and candles or even jewellery? But hey, before I go on a grumpy old man rant, I've digressed enough because we do have more important issues to talk about today, such as how technology is transforming the traditional HR department. Now, during my time in IT in a previous life, I was amazed at how clunky your average HR system is for businesses. I mean, in a world where everything must now be simplified and easy to use, many of these systems feel like pulling teeth. As a result, it's no surprise to hear about a thriving tech scene developing with its own buzzword, HRTech, which refers to an area of corporate life that is riddled with friction and pain points that actually make it ripe for disruption. Now, I recently discovered a company called JazzHR. JazzHR is a powerful, user-friendly and affordable recruiting software that is actually purpose-built to help growing companies exceed their recruiting goals. The platform helps with posting jobs from one place to all your major sports, such as LinkedIn. And then it allows you to schedule interviews and have other employees rate them based on the interview. Now, with total funding blasting past $26 million recently, they seem to be on the road to success. So I invited JazzHR CEO Pete Lamson to explore not only what they're doing, but also the current HR tech scene. So buckle up and hold on tight because I'm going to beam your ears all the way to the east coast of the US, just outside of Boston, so we can speak with JazzHR CEO Pete Lamson. So a massive warm welcome to the show, Pete. Can you tell the listeners a little about who you are and what you do?
Great to be here, Neil. I am the Chief Executive Officer of JazzHR, and JazzHR is a recruiting solution focused on improving recruiting results while driving down the time and cost to hire for small businesses. My background is I have been emerging growth technology space for my entire career, generally helping technology-based companies penetrate the small business space.
Fantastic. And it's my understanding that JazzHR aims to replace those time-consuming and manual hiring tasks with this intuitive software that is essentially designed to help recruiters and hiring managers find, recruit, and hire the right talent, and most importantly, fast. But to help anyone listening understand exactly what it is that you guys do, can you offer an overview of what JazzHR is, what problems you're solving, and also what makes you different from the hundreds of other solutions out there?
Great question. Well, recruiting and hiring for small business is always a challenge, but particularly in a time of full employment or near full employment like we're experiencing in many areas right now. Small businesses typically don't have the budget, they don't have the employment brand to recruit with larger, more well-capitalized businesses. And so as a result, 90% of the small business market is using antiquated recruiting solutions, which is typically a hodgepodge of things like Word documents, Excel spreadsheets, email inboxes to manage their recruiting process, which ends up being slow. It ends up being a little bit convoluted internally when you're trying to get all of the hiring team for a particular role on the same page. And oftentimes it ends up not being a great candidate experience as a result. And so what JazzHR does, what we do, is we offer a very simple, powerful tool or full solution that enables small businesses to compete with larger companies for the talent they need to grow their own business. And the way we do this is through a very intuitive and simple software interface that enables a small business to manage all aspects of recruiting in a really organized fashion, with everything ranging from the sourcing of candidates to interview scheduling, getting feedback from the interviewing team, background checks, skills assessments, offer management, kind of all aspects of it in a very simple and intuitive manner. It's not an automated solution. The SMB, the small business, still has full control over who they're hiring, and those interpersonal touches that are so crucial to bringing on the right hire for that business. But it does so in a very simplistic and easy to navigate manner.
When you mention easy and simplistic, that's not what you automatically assume with HR or recruitment software, is it? I mean, as you were talking about Microsoft Word, Excel and inboxes and all these different clunky methods, I'm getting flashbacks from my IT past. I mean, that's the reputation around that world, isn't it?
Well, it is. And HR solutions really need to be as simple to use and as elegant as any other solution that small businesses are using to push their business forward. So we actually have recently won some awards for the simplicity and ease of use of our product. And in fact, just as recently as last week, we have expanded our user experience and user interface team by bringing on a new professional to ensure that we remain that way. But we expect our customers to be experts in their own field of business, but not necessarily in recruiting. And we want to make that as a result, we want to make that as easy for and intuitive for them as we possibly can through a very simple to use experience and interface.
Now, the company was founded back in 2009, but I'm curious, what is the background of JazzHR and what was the inspiration behind the company and the problems that you went out to solve?
Sure. The problems we're solving is, as we talked about a couple of minutes ago, hiring for small business is oftentimes, while it's critical, and any small business will say that our people are our most important asset, if I'm a small business manager or owner, I may have 100 things I need to get to every single day, and recruiting expertise and domain knowledge isn't necessarily at the top of my to-do list or my own background skill set. And so the problem we solve is to help those small businesses compete more effectively for talent, to simplify the recruiting process, to make it less convoluted, to make certain that no balls are dropped during the recruiting process. Small businesses many people are often multitasking all day, every day, and we want to make this as simple for them as we can so they can bring on better hires at a reduced cost and at a faster speed.
Now, JazzHR recently closed a financing round in which the company secured an additional $6.6 million, taking, I believe, your funding to over $25 million in total. So I've got to ask, how do you think this funding is going to enable you to take JazzHR to the next level and move forward in this world of HR tech?
Really in two areas. First and foremost will be product investment. We are really good at listening to our customers and listening to the market to understand what is it that they need to compete effectively for talent. So we will continue to invest in the JazzHR product to make certain that we are exceeding the needs of our customers. I'll give you a couple of examples. Just last week, we launched one of the top requests of our customers, which was enabling small businesses to have multi-level job approvals in our software. And I don't want to get too technical here, but this allows a small business who may have to have a couple of different people sign off on a new hire, do so very easily just while staying within our software solution. Other examples of things we'll be investing in to help businesses compete for talent even more effectively will be improved social recruiting so that small businesses can effectively compete for talent on the many different social media platforms they may use, whether it's Twitter or Facebook or LinkedIn or any of the places where their business would choose to recruit from. We also will be adding a much more robust employee referral program so that businesses can tap their employees' personal networks or professional networks for strong candidates. Another example would be to improve our internal reporting so that businesses can have metrics around how effectively they are competing for talent. So first and foremost, we'll be continuing to delight our customers. And secondly, we'll be continued focus on our go-to-market strategy. Today, we've got about 3,000 customers that we provide a recruiting solution for. We expect that to grow rapidly over the coming years, and our recent funding will enable that as well.
So are you noticing a big rise in these HR tech solutions as you really, leading the way in this space. And are they arriving in the industry? I mean, do you think that overall that HR is ripe for disruption? Because we have mentioned the clunkiness of the software, and we're striving for simplicity now. Do you think that industry is ripe for disruption and HRTech is really coming into its own now?
I do. And that is one of the most exciting elements of working in the HR tech space right now. Human resources in many companies historically has been the last budget funded. It's been the first budget cut. As a result, 90% of small businesses in our target market have no solution in place other than spreadsheets and Word documents and email inbox management. And virtually every other functional area within corporations has benefited from technology-driven efficiencies. Examples might be for sales, you have Salesforce and other CRM solutions. For marketing, you've got Marketo and HubSpot and others. And if you go through every single functional area in a corporation, those challenges, those needs have been met by very simple, intuitive, and affordable technology-driven solutions. HR has been the one area that has not yet experienced this efficiency lift. And so to be a part of the opportunity that is revolutionizing how small businesses recruit and attract and win the battle for talent is a wonderful place to be today.
It really is. And I know a lot of leaders will heavily concentrate on the ROI of tech-driven solutions out there, but I think one subject that they don't always talk about or even think about is the actual cost of bad hires or doing things wrong. I mean, that's often the case as well, isn't it?
Absolutely. And I would argue that the cost of a bad hire is more than just the capital involved, the euros or pounds or dollars you've spent on that hire, but it's even more importantly, the time you've lost. It may take you a month or 3 to get that right hire in place. You train them over a period of time, and right at the time when you're expecting to have your business benefit from that new hire, if it turns out that that's not the right fit for your company, you've lost 6 months, maybe more. And so time is ultimately the biggest expense that businesses lose when making a bad hire.
Now, as this is a tech show, I read something on Twitter that I must bring up the other day, and it was a tweet of yours because I believe you feel very strongly about the FCC's plans to dismantle neutrality. And you recently tweeted, "The end of net neutrality will stifle innovation, reduce America's entrepreneurial leadership position, and ultimately cost American jobs." And I think so many people listening are going to be agreeing with you here. But if there anyone is listening to the show that doesn't understand what is happening or blissfully unaware, can you explain why this is so important, not only to yourself, but to all of us?
Well, I'm so glad you asked this, Neil. And net neutrality tends to be one of those topics where if you're not familiar with it, what it means and the importance of it, your eyes can glaze over. Yeah. Net neutrality really means an open internet for all. And this includes both users of the internet as well as businesses who compete on the internet. And what this means is that net neutrality ensures a level playing field for consumers, for small businesses, so that small businesses who may be competing for business with much larger multinational corporations have the same access to customers, have the same access to speed of data transfer that much larger companies do today. And net neutrality ensures that level playing field stays in existence. A non-net neutral web or non-open web would enable much larger companies to, through sheer force of the ability to pay more to internet providers, have faster access to those customers, or for consumers who pay more to have faster access to all the data they access every single day as a normal course of their personal lives or their business. It is critical for the small business community and for entrepreneurs, America's entrepreneurial environment, to continue to enable that and ensure there is a level playing field for all companies.
I couldn't agree with you more. It's so important for the future and something that we all need to pay more attention to. And speaking a bit of the future, I mean, what's next for JazzHR? What's going to be your big focus in 2018?
So our big focus will be delighting small businesses. I mean, that's our core DNA. That's what we do day in, day out. 95% of our customers renew with us every single year, and we want to continue to listen to them, understand their needs, meet their needs. And so we will continue to invest in our product, in our solution, in our customer support to ensure that our customers are well taken care of, and more importantly, are able to reduce their cost of hire, their time to hire through a powerful HR solution.
Well, a huge thank you for coming on the show today. I think we've covered so many areas here, and there might be people listening that want to find out more about you, about JazzHR, or any of the topics we've covered, or just ask a few questions. So for those people listening, can you remind them of your website details and also how they can contact a member of your team if they do have any questions?
Sure. You can find more learn more about JazzHR at JazzHR.com, which is JazzHR.com. You can email us at hello@JazzHR.com, or you can call us at 888-885-5299.
Fantastic. Well, like I said at the beginning of the show, enjoy my IT life. In my previous life, I spent a lot of time with HR systems, and I know how clunky they can be, and they're simply horrible. So the fact that you've launched JazzHR here, and it's powerful but ultimately user-friendly and affordable recruiting software too, is a big deal. So a big thank you for sharing that with us today.
Thanks, Neil.
So many great value bombs dropped in this episode, and I really don't think we talk enough about the cost of bad hires and clunky software. And for those reasons, it's easy to see why HR is ripe for disruption at the moment. And let's face it, any software that is designed to help recruiters or hiring managers find, recruit and hire the right talent as quickly as possible by simply replacing those time-consuming and manual hiring tasks with intuitive software. And that's all good by me. But I'm equally really glad we wandered off topic a little there to discuss the real effects of ending net neutrality. I really agree with Pete on this, that it could stifle innovation, reduce America's entrepreneurial leadership position, and ultimately cost jobs. So I really hope anyone listening paid close attention to that little segment there and goes away and reads up more on the subject, because I think it's something that's going to affect each and every one of us. And for that reason, maybe we should all play our part in preventing this from happening, or at least trying to stop it. But hey, this is all just my opinion. Or as the dude said in The Big Lebowski, yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man. But I want to know what you think. I mean, I'm happy for you to challenge my thought process, worldview, or even today's guest, because this is your show too. And I generally care and want to hear your insights and give your voice a platform. And let's be honest, many of you listening will know more about HR processes and software than I ever could. So please keep those tweets coming in to @NeilC.Hughes. And if you'd like a Christmas card from me, why not send me a quick email with your details and I'll pop you on in the post. So a big warm thank you for listening to the show, and I hope you'll return tomorrow. But until next time, don't be a stranger.
Thanks for listening to the Tech Blog Writer Podcast. Until next time, remember, technology is best when it brings people together.